Pro Wrestling Summit. You already know what it is. Knowledge.
Tatum.
How you doing, bro?
Just living the dream.
Living the dream.
As
living
always.
The dream. Well, we got some new equipment here, and we've been testing it out.
Technical issues.
Well, I don't know if it's really a technical issue. It's more just a user error by me because, Danny's not around. Jay Razor's not around. So, we don't have anybody to, work the board today except for moi.
Well, then, technically, it's their fault.
Well, I don't want to say that. You know what? I think I'm going to blame it on Tony Khan.
There we go. You know what?
It just seems to be the popular thing to do. Just fucking blame everything on the Tony Khan guy.
Making Tony Khan a scapegoat, I guess.
Oh my God, Jack Perry. Calm down. What? That is amazing. What a play on words. Making him the scapegoat. Listen, I gotta say, right off the top, I'm very impressed by him making the title belt look about 1,000,000 times better than what it did.
And, I texted you about it earlier this week. I am very much against all of the personalized, individualized championships. But if you're going to physically make your own, you're allowed to have any personalized championship you want.
I like the darker color with the, metal, and he's got he using the grinder, and he literally. But I do have to ask a question: why the fuck is he shirtless the entire time? If you spill some of that metal on yourself, you're in a world of hurt.
Now I think
way worse than being set on fire by Darby Allin.
Yes. Or just being Darby Allin, throwing yourself through plate glass,
come on, poor Darby.
But
man.
I don't really like the championship all that much. I feel like it's just too gimmicky. But if it's your title, you're going to make it as gimmicky to yourself as you're going to make it. So, good on him.
Pretty impressive, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive that the guy has that much talent to be able to, be a professional wrestler and do some metalworking.
And everybody knows I'm not one to give Jack Perry his due, but good for him. It's came out how he wanted it. It's very impressive. Enjoy your championship.
In the words of CM Punk, what did I ever do to deserve an empty-headed fuck to go to go into business for himself on the internet about me? No, listen, man. I like the scapegoat gimmick, and the reason I like it is because he's actually using something that really happened. The problem is that he is the biggest pussy in the world because CM Punk, who's 0-2 in MMA, and is well over the age of fist fighting people. You know what I mean? And you're a young, virile man who's dating a hot chick. Anna Jay is not she's a solid 8.
Yeah, that's not going to last, but that's okay.
No, it's whatever. It's not my problem. But again, what did I ever do to deserve an empty-headed fuck like Jack Perry? No, I really do like the scapegoat gimmick, though. I think that he's using something that happened, and the problem is you're not a tough guy. I can never look at you as a tough guy, no matter what you do, because CM Punk grabbed you in a front face lock, and and you are an idiot for wanting to use real glass, and that's coming from somebody who's done some pretty fucking questionable activities.
But then to use that in your entrance and everything too, it's smart,
super smart,
and good for him for sticking with it, because I thought that it wasn't going to last long because of how hard it was falling flat so quickly. But good for him for sticking with it and seeing it through.
I think it's just the acknowledgement that okay, this happened, so let me work yourself into a shoot, brother.
Yep.
Not to bring up that guy, but he's got some heat right now. He's got fucking big heat, man. Big heat. He is a heat miser, that guy.
Yeah,
the heat miser. Well, what are you gonna do, brother?
You can't keep your mouth shut, I mean,
too many beers, brother. I had too many beers.
Wow.
I mean, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Yeah, we're not him. We don't need to talk about that nonsense. This is a Pro Wrestling Summit podcast. You already know what it is. Come on. You already know what it is. I mean, what are we doing here? But I do have to give credit where credit's due. I do like the TNT title a lot better now than I did a week ago. I think it's dope. I still think AEW has too many titles.
Everybody has a championship. Everybody has a championship.
Well,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, and all the ROH titles are defended on this show, too. So it's like, well, I don't know.
Why is Dusty Rhodes teaming with Sammy Guevara? Dustin Rhodes.
Dustin.
Sorry.
Don't.
I know.
Please.
I know.
I will jump over this table like I'm CM Punk and you're Tony Khan. And then you'll fire me for unfair work practices. You feel like I've threatened your life. The most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my entire life. You run a professional wrestling company and you're scared of a wrestler being hot at you. I was afraid for my life.
He didn't even really yell at him. Anyway, but why does Dustin Rhodes? Why is he teaming with Sammy Guevara? Why is he a tag team champion? What is happening?
And he's a 6-man champion with the Von Erichs.
What is happening?
Well, I think listen. I like Dustin Rhodes, okay, but personally, I like Goldust. That's me personally. I think that he has an incredible body now. Like, he really has worked very, very hard.
One of the few in AEW.
To like be in shape and like not a massive roid head or like something like that. Like he's very not cut, but he's like lean. He's very lean.
Yeah.
Which is amazing at his age, and the guy can still go. So I don't necessarily have a problem with him being like in a upper mid card, but like, why are you taking titles away from young guys who could use that as a springboard to make their career better? Like, you have already had your career. You're at the tail end of it.
Well, even that, I have no problem with him even holding championships. My problem is...
Why are you multiple with different people?
Multiple with different people with no storyline attached to any of it. It just doesn't make sense. Sammy Guevara just showed up, was your tag partner for the night, and you won the championship.
Yeah, is it like a one-night stand, or would that be considered a cucking situation? I'm not really sure what the best way to describe that is. Like, is he just one night stand? But he can't be a one night stand because he has the title,
right? So it's not just gonna be a one night. It's like a one night stand turned bad.
Yeah, so it's like a cucking situation. Yeah. He is Dustin the Cucker Rhodes.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Again, nothing against the guy. It's everything to do with. There's no build to anything. It's just, oh, hey, you guys are here. This is a match that's going to happen now. You're going over.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that is Paul White running ROH and being in the in the creative room and being an on-air figure. I wonder how much of that is based upon his decisions to, okay, let's put Dustin in this spot because he can really help some young guys out. But Sammy Guevara has already been a champion in AEW. Like, you're not really helping Sammy. The Von Erichs I get because they're two young guys, like, family lineage and like the whole deal. Like,
that makes sense. It's like you're mentoring them.
Correct. Yeah. But it's Sammy Guevara? Where does that fit in?
Well, also, like, why can't it just be, well, Dustin is gonna help these young guys, kind of make a name for themselves, but why can't he do that by not going over?
Yeah, like a mentorship.
Right. I mean, it's okay.
The learning tree.
It's okay if he loses. it's okay if he loses. You know, like
Hi, guys.
You don't have to put him over. You don't have to put the championships on him. It could just be, hey, this was a really tough, contest, and Dustin Rhodes brought them to their brink, and they were able to overcome. Like, why can't it be something like that?
Yeah, it's kind of confusing. I gotta be honest. It's kind of confusing.
If Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes had any kind of relationship before they decided to tag with one another and win the championships, then I would be okay with it. But
I don't know what type of relationship they had before that. Like, I don't ever remember hearing anything about those guys like being friends.
And it's not like there's some sort of superpower, now new tag team that, they were both at the top of their game and now they're combining and they're an unstoppable tag team. They've never tagged with one another.
Yeah.
And yet they just won the tag team championship.
Like, if it was Booker T and Dustin... Oh,
there you go.
Sold.
You got Book Dust back together. Congratulations.
Dude, one of my favorite tag teams from that era, because they did some of the funniest vignettes.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Even after he got electrocuted. Gold Dust.
Dude, I don't mind the stuttering thing, because it's not a knock on people who stutter. Like, I think that he just did like a masterful job of being able to portray a character that he like made it funny.
It just added to his over the top nature.
If somebody else did it without the makeup and like the wigs and like the costume things, like it would have been just why are you doing this?
Right.
It would have been Eugene.
Yep. Yeah, but I was okay with Eugene.
I like Eugene.
I was okay with Eugene.
I dig Eugene because he was like a savant. He was the Rain Man of wrestling. Yep. It was brilliant.
Super offensive. But,
well, in today's day and age.
Yeah, in today's day and age. Looking back at it, it's like, oh, maybe that wasn't okay. But you know what?
Think about how many things have been offensive in wrestling back in the day that today there is no shot you'd be able to do.
At least they didn't make him a heel. He was the good guy. Yeah. Could have been worse.
And I mean, he teamed with William Regal. I mean, I don't... If William Regal is doing something, I'm generally okay with it. Like, I'm not to sound like a mark for the guy, but like I'm a total mark for the guy.
That was a great way to turn him face too.
Oh my God!
From that grouchy heel character that he was to caring for Eugene, turning him face.
I mean, Chris Jericho pissing in his tea.
Yeah. Some
of the funniest shit. Like, and the relationship with Tajiri, hysterical. Like, there was some real good points of William Regal, and I wish that he would manage. I really do, because I think that he could help get people over.
I'm surprised that he's not managing. I don't. What is he? Is he even considered to be in WWE anymore?
Yeah, I mean, he's working with. He's like Triple H's right hand man.
Right, but why not get him back on? Well, I guess they don't really use managers all that much anymore. But
nah, managers are kind of like out. It's not
unless you're Paul Heyman or
unless you're Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
that's it.
Right.
There is no other managers, which is crazy to me because you have guys who can't fucking cut a promo to save their life. I was just having this conversation with Jay Razor the other day through text message, and he said, why is it that people don't like cut promos? And I said, because people nowadays have no idea how to cut an effective promo. It is not part of the wrestling package anymore for you to be able to cut a promo. If you are an outstanding athlete, you will get a look before a guy who can talk people into the building. It's the exact opposite of what it was in the 70s and the 80s and even the early 90s. ECW even like late 90s and then the 2000s, forget it was already gone. Like Cena and Punk, you know, nowadays it's Punk and MJF. Those are the only two guys that can really oh shit, like these guys are cutting a promo, you gotta pay attention because there's so many different things that are happening. But like Randy Orton comes to the ring, I'm like, why the fuck is this guy talking?
Yeah.
Like, you are dry as toast, bro. Like,
Even though
I just don't get it.
Even though that matchup at Bash at Berlin is
It's going to be
fantastic.
It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense for him to come out and start cutting a promo. There shouldn't be much talking going on in that whole program anyway.
And I like that Gunther doesn't really talk. Like, he says what he...
General.
Yeah, he says what he needs to say, and it's very matter-of-fact and to the point. He's like, I know that I am a great wrestler.
Yep.
You don't have to... I'm not going to convince you that I'm a great wrestler. I already know that I'm a great wrestler, so you can go fuck yourself.
Right.
Like, he does not care what the people think, which is a big part of his package.
Mm-hmm.
Because he separates himself like that. He doesn't need to be a boastful champion. He already has the championship. He was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. Like, the guy already has all the accolades. What else does he need to do to prove to you that he's the best wrestler in the world?
Well, the amazing thing is you can contrast him, that whole program now, between Randy Orton and you just said it. Why can't I think? Why did his name slip my mind already?
Who?
Randy Orton and Gunther. My goodness.
What is going on?
I wanted to call him Walter, and I knew that wasn't right. And
well, I mean, that's really his name, but
yeah.
don't call him by his shoot name, bro.
Right?
You can't be calling the guy by his shoot name anymore.
But the contrast between Randy Orton and Gunther and the main storyline on SmackDown now with Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, there was no talking last week between Solo Sikoa and
Cody,
Roman Reigns.
Roman, whoever.
When he came out, Roman could have came out with a microphone, could have tore them down, could have said that he was the original Tribal Chief. Instead, he just slowly walked to the ring, got into there, kicked the crap out of the three of them. And when he finally grabbed the Olafala, and you think back 10 years ago when he was trying to cut promos and the suffering succotash. I'll never let it go. I'll never let it go.
Anytime that any praise is thrown on Roman Reigns, you say suffering succotash, and it brings you right back down to earth.
But you go from that to now he doesn't need to pick up the microphone. His crowd work is so amazing that he grabbed that the Ulafala and he slowly puts that over his head, and he's exposing himself to the crowd, and you feel the power of it, and then he gets attacked.
And the attack was awesome. The guy's wearing a walking boot, and he's throwing a beat. And Roman Reigns' facial expression after getting hit with the hip attack in the corner, when he fell to the mat and his eyes went wide, and he's like, oh, like he's all out of it. I'm like, oh my God, dude. And Jacob Fatu is a star. People can say whatever they want about the guy.
Well, what people have been saying about him is that he's going to outshine Solo Sikoa,
which he well has already.
Right.
I mean, it's not even close.
But I just think that Gunther and Randy Orton should take a page out of that, where it's just you don't really say anything. Randy Orton, you come down, grab the microphone, stand in the ring, and then just drop the microphone. You know what I'm here for.
Now, I do agree with that to a certain extent, but you also remember that they're going to be in Berlin.
Yeah.
This is where Gunther has made. I mean, that's where his company is, WXW, or I don't know if it's still a company anymore. But he was running. I think he owned WXW in Germany. So I think that people expect a certain thing from him, and they expect him to talk people into the building, especially with them going to Germany. Okay, you got to now it's time to show that you're the champion and talk people into the building. But that's not his shtick.
But he's also not the one doing most of the talking. It's mostly Randy Orton.
Which I don't understand.
Because Randy Orton's never been a huge talker. I mean, a
he can
huge
cut,
promo
listen,
guy.
he can cut a believable promo. Him as a psychopath is like shaved head Randy Orton. Cut incredible promos. Legend killer stuff.
Yeah.
Incredible promos. But nowadays, he's 300 pounds. Like, he is a big, jacked dude who can, I don't know how, can still wrestle at such a high level. And people used to shit all over Randy Orton. I hate Randy Orton. I don't see any value in Randy Orton. He doesn't know how to work. I'm like, are you fucking people watching the same shit that I'm watching? Because you clearly have no fucking idea what you're talking about. That guy knows how to work incredibly well. And he does his thing. Listen,
he benefited from early in his career working with people like Ric Flair and Triple H and Mick Foley and
think
down
about the
line.
guys who were in that group, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, that class at OVW: Batista, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Cena, and Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that OVW class. Now imagine if NXT looked like that at any point. It's never looked like that. Never. Those guys were stars walking through the door, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And people can say whatever they want about... listen, I like a lot of the NXT people. I think there are definitely some stars in NXT right now. But I think that the level of love for the business is different because these people are generally athletes who are transitioning into wrestling. They're not wrestling fans or independent wrestlers who have, been around the block a little bit, with the exception of the guys who came from AEW.
I think the big thing with that is now the way that they're treating NXT. I mean, OVW was where people were going to work out to become stars in the WWE, and now NXT is being treated like its own premier show, and the talent that are on NXT seem to be perfectly suited for NXT.
Yeah, I just don't know how a lot of those talents are going to be able to make the transition to the main roster.
I don't know if they want them to make the transition to the
which
main
is
roster.
ridiculous.
Look at Carmelo Hayes.
I mean, that dude's going to be main event in WrestleMania in 5 years, probably.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so. I do, man. I think that. I
agree that he has the potential, but for whatever reason, they don't let those guys transition like that.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about something from the women's side. Kiana James was a fucking star in NXT. She gets drafted to Raw. I've seen her one time in a backstage promo. I'm like, where the fuck is this? Where did she go?
Yeah, it's almost like it's the worst possible news you could get.
Well, it was for Dijak.
Yep.
He got drafted to Raw and was like, I'm getting released.
Yep.
Poor guy.
I mean, that's got to be rough. You think it's going to be a great thing, and then you never get any time.
Yeah.
I
mean, but look at the roster. It's tough to find the time.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put somebody unless you start? But even then, you're talking about 7 hours of television programming every week.
Yeah.
It's not a little bit of time.
That's just programming. That's not including
all
live
the socials,
shows and everything.
Right? And that, they don't do as many live shows anymore, but they have Speed that they do on X, and then all their social media stuff that they do is crazy.
Yeah.
There have been incredible promos from Karrion Kross shown on web exclusives.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why wouldn't you put this on television? This guy would be over like gangbusters if you just put this on television. But it's like, what do you cut from the show to put that in?
Right.
And I mean, the tag team division is a fucking mess. It's a total fucking mess. Why even have a tag team division anymore?
That's a constant problem they've had for about 15 years now.
Which is really hard to believe.
But there was a period of 2 years there where they had something going with the Usos and the New Day and a few other groups, and they just let it go by the wayside. The New Day's not coming back to to win any championships anytime soon. And
I mean, Odyssey Jones being with Kofi, I think we were just talking about that through text message, and you know, you were like, "Oh man, this is gonna be," you know, you sent me the video of Xavier Woods, and I was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I saw that," but like, I think it's gonna go the opposite way. I think that they're gonna turn heel on him.
yeah, I don't think so. I
Why
think,
not?
Well, because of the way that
Cross was
treated when
Yeah.
he exposed Xavier as being the guy that
Interesting.
should be the head of things, and that never got his due, is what I should say. And so he's going to be more resentful, and he's going to turn against.
But wouldn't that make him
Kofi.
more of a face when the heel is running him down about not being given his due? Think about how big of a face he could be. But could Kofi go heel? That's the problem. He's too, like, animated. I don't think that he would be a very effective heel. Odyssey Jones
I was
reminds me
gonna
of
say-
Mark Henry.
I was going to say, does he have to be a great heel if Odyssey Jones ends up being a great heel and he's just with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like de facto.
Right.
You're going to get the old guy gets the rub from the young talent
Right.
who's, you know... I mean, that guy is really impressive. Like, he is insanely strong.
And ridiculously agile for a
For
man
a guy
his
his
size.
size, like,
That
crazy
shouldn't-
agile.
It's just not fair, you know? Just
That's the thing that separates him from Mark Henry. Is he's like Mark Henry and Keith Lee had a love child.
yeah.
Because he has the agility of Keith Lee, but he has the presence and the size like Mark Henry.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of those two things, and I think that it is a recipe for good shit. Like, he can really work. Like, he understands it. You can see that, like, the wheels are really starting to turn in his head. Like, as shit's happening, he's like, oh, okay, like, I'm understanding now. I get it.
Yeah.
And that's only going to benefit them because he is a giant human being. I mean, think about the matches that him and Obafemi could have when they bring up Obafemi from NXT. I mean, that's really the only guy in NXT besides Ethan Page and Lexus King that looks like a star. Like, I mean, Obafemi is a fucking star. That guy is incredibly... not only is he agile and he's fast, but he is another one who is insanely strong. And his body looks the part. Like, he looks like he could really put a hurting on you. And he powerbombs people for real, for real. Like, it is not a game. I'm all set. I feel bad for a lot of those guys taking that powerbomb because it is not pretty, dude. Not pretty at all.
I think the smartest thing for them to do with the New Day at this point would be to get them in, obviously, get them away from Cross for a little bit, allow them to compete for a championship, have them kind of go back and forth of who's going to actually be in the
heel,
match.
Right, yeah.
And have Jones and Kofi kind of overrule Xavier Woods, say, well, it's going to be us that are going to be in the match, and then have obviously have them almost win, and let Xavier Woods cost them the win.
I hope that if they are going to do it like that, I hope for their sake that they have Woods attack Odyssey Jones.
Yeah.
I think that that's the way to go. Like, try to like put a beating on the guy.
Well, that's
and,
why
like, maybe
he can be like a sympathetic heel. You know.
I see.
I never wanted to attack you, Kofi, but he's not the New Day.
Right.
You know, you're being blinded by him. You're trying to replace Big E. You're basically you're blind, and this is just to wake you up. You know.
Well,
So-
we're watching the Chiefs game on mute right now, and Steele just made an incredible run again. This guy is serious business. Like, he is really, really good. We're recording this on Thursday the 22nd, so it's it's football season now, folks. I mean, we got the ad drop podcast coming, the fantasy football podcast. We got stuff going on. So like, football season, Knowledge already knows that the game is going to be on mute every game, every Thursday. I am watching the game with come hell or high water. I don't care what's going on. I'm watching football. Same thing with Sundays. I'm watching football. I don't give a hoot nanny what you got going on.
The PLEs can wait.
No, well, luckily PLEs are on Saturdays. Yeah. So after Florida State plays, I mean, that's really all that I'm concerned with. And usually they have an early game, so that I'm not watching a game at like 9:00 at night. But I will say this much: if they do the deal with Woods and Odyssey Jones, what do you do with that? That becomes the real question. Like, you don't want to bury Odyssey Jones right out of the gate, so you can't have Woods go over strong on him. So like, how do you do? What does he do? Is he a snivelly heel, a sympathetic heel? Like, you can't be a sympathetic heel and beat this big giant human being. Like, that's not gonna fucking work. Like,
no, I think what you have happen is this is going to be a multi-month layout where you basically you have Xavier Woods go up against Odyssey Jones, get outclassed time and time again, and basically the entire time he's just pleading to Kofi. Like, do you see what's going on here? Like, do you see this isn't New Day? Is this fun for you? This happening, leading to a matchup at WrestleMania, and then you have a solid draw with a non-title match at WrestleMania, Kofi versus Xavier Woods. And who comes out?
Biggie. What does he do? Do you think he's gonna come back and wrestle?
No. I think he comes back and manage.
Yeah.
The New Day.
The New Day?
With Kofi and Odyssey Jones. Basically, Big E is the one that's the final voice that says, "Hey, Xavier, you're out."
Yeah, because then he could still continue to do the roundtable stuff and do like the pre-show stuff, and like that's not gonna hurt his stock at all from doing that. If he went with Xavier Woods, that totally hurts his stock. You can't do that because you can't be a heel.
So technically, you're siding with the heels of Kofi you're siding with the faces, but it's kind of a bad move.
It blurs the lines. That's my issue with it.
But that blurs. You can blur the lines with him for that too, because you could say, "Listen, I did that for Xavier. It needed to stop." And there needed to be a finality, and if that's me, so be it. I'm not happy about it. I love the guy, but it needed to stop.
So many different layers and so many different directions that you could possibly go with that too. Like, there are, and I mean, it's a long storyline. You could play the long game and go till WrestleMania. As we all know, Triple H loves his long-term booking.
Yep.
I mean, he's booking shit out months and years in advance.
At least for most things, except for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, I mean, I think he's kind of fucked Cody. Not on purpose. I just don't think that they had a real solid plan. I mean, I don't think Kevin Owens beats him at Bash at Berlin.
That would make no sense.
But then again, weirder things have fucking happened. I thought that there was no way that Cody was losing against Roman the first WrestleMania.
Yep.
So, but then he did. So, I mean, they could always throw a curveball, but what purpose would that serve? Because we'd still be in the same boat with, okay, well, what's next? Like, I don't think that Cody...
Either way, what's next? If Kevin Owens wins, what's next? But if Cody wins, what's next?
I mean, there's got to be something. There's got to be something. I'm trying to think of, guys who are maybe from Cody's past, not Orton, because obviously, which is the weirdest thing, because that was I thought that was the setup right there. It was going to be Orton, Cody, they're both on SmackDown, and then all of a sudden it's like, fuck the draft again. We're gonna bring Randy Orton over to Raw to wrestle Gunther, and I'm like, why?
Maybe Randy loses to Gunther and
goes after Cody. Turns heel at that point and goes after Cody.
I mean, that would make very little sense, but...
I mean, but it would be a good story.
Who do you have? Does John Cena come in? I mean, I don't know.
Cena and Cody. Now that...
But who's the heel there? Or is this just a contest of abilities? Seeing if the old dog can do it.
See, the thing is Cena is going until December of 2025. So, but he just re-upped his contract with WWE, but I assume that's in a non-wrestling role. Yeah. So,
I mean, he's said that.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I sent you that video. Yeah. Like, I misread John Cena, because he worked this one gimmick and like never changed this one gimmick, and I didn't understand that at the time, but I get it now. As I become more of an adult, I understand the not switching of his gimmick and not going heel and not doing this and not doing that, and why he did things the way that he did. When you're the number one fucking guy in the company, why would you want to switch? Well, there's no reason for you to.
All of the
Make-A-Wish stuff, the merch sales, like, why would you ever do that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. And listen, the guy fucking cuts a believable promo. He gets the crowd fired up. People were comparing him to, like, The Rock and all that stuff, and I went, I don't know if his promos are like The Rock's. I mean, The Rock is dynamic. And I'm not a Rock guy by any stretch of the imagination. I think The Rock is like a 1 in ring. And that is a big part of how I rate wrestlers, is can you get the job done both, in all areas of the thing. But you can't take anything away from The Rock, because he sold some merchandise. But without Austin, The Rock is not as effective. It's, Cena pretty much did it on his own. Like, and I hate to make this comparison, but he was the Hulk Hogan of that generation, because Hulk Hogan didn't have anybody. Who was Hulk Hogan? Who did he have besides Macho?
And the Iron Sheik, I mean...
At the beginning? Yeah. That's it, dude. He only had the Iron Sheik and Piper.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not taking anything away from Piper, but Piper never held the world title.
Right.
I mean, Andre wasn't a great wrestler.
Especially at that point.
No, dude, he was a gimmick. Yeah. Like, he was a big giant dude.
Yeah, he could barely move anymore.
Oh, dude, it was so sad to see, man, him working those matches with Warrior, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, like, I just feel so bad for you. And he had the Warrior.
Yeah.
What did I ever do to deserve an empty-headed fuck? Like the Ultimate Warrior to go into business for himself. Yeah. But that's literally how it was with him. Like, I mean, you'd see it on every single video that they talk about Warrior. This guy he was outside his mind.
Yeah.
But Vince tried to make him into the next Hulk Hogan, and they realized immediately that it wasn't going to work. Now, I'm not a big Hogan guy either. I never really liked Hogan as a kid.
No, but you can appreciate the fact that, he's the guy that they tossed the company on his back. Without Hogan, there's probably no WWE today.
I mean, no, definitely not. And that guy legitimately wrestled 400 days a year.
And John Cena carried the company for a good, decade.
Yeah, I mean, it was him, Brock
occasionally.
Every 3 months or so.
The title was basically changing hands between John Cena and Randy Orton all the time.
And then Batista and Ray were on SmackDown, and they were doing their thing.
Yeah,
because that was after Eddie.
But people were there to see John Cena. That's what people wanted to see.
100%, 100%.
And it sucks to say, because you and I both have the very same opinion of John Cena through that entire time of just, this is. It's just,
it's
rinse
long
and
in the
repeat.
tooth. It's just long in the
yeah.
tooth, man. Like, I mean, how many times can you do the same shit?
Yeah.
But I think my appreciation for Cena really came to pass when he did the shit with Bray, and he showed a different side of him. Like, he was really you can tell like he was having fun, and he gave it his all, and it wasn't for any other reason but to do something dope that nobody had ever done before. They still haven't had a match like that. Forget the Undertaker AJ Styles cinematic match. Fuck all that. There's only one cinematic match as far as I'm concerned, and it was during the worst time in the world.
Yep.
During COVID, there's nobody in the stands, and they're doing this terrific match. And honestly, if you ever are looking for something to you want to show somebody Bray Wyatt, that's what you show them.
Yep.
Is that right there. And you show him his FCW stuff, because that shit was fucking amazing.
But for me, John Cena, my respect came for him more in the John Cena Open Challenge, the the United States Open Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Because the amount of talent that he brought to the brink there and really put over when he didn't have to. He could have squashed every single person that came out. But he had really good matches with a lot of young talent and put over a lot of guys. I gained a lot of respect for him there because, again, it's
he
just
didn't
like,
need to do that at that point in his career.
You literally have 16 championships. You don't have to have the U.S. championship.
He has 15.
15. Sorry.
Does he win the 16th?
No.
And beat Flair?
No.
I don't think Triple H would do that.
I don't think he would do it. I feel like he would think it was disrespectful at this point in his career.
Do you think he wins the Intercontinental title, the only title that he's never won?
Now, that would be interesting.
Him and Braun Breaker, bro? That shit would be incredible. Want to talk about a young guy who has it? Who Cena would fucking make look like $1 million?
I mean, that could be it's
that could be WrestleMania.
It's a really bad comparison, very bad comparison, but that could be the Goldberg Brock Lesnar wins the championship in like 30 seconds because Braun Breaker just charges at him, he catches him, gives him the FU. Or attitude adjustment, sorry.
It's the FU.
Yeah,
dude.
right. And
the attitude adjustment. What a fucking dumb name.
1, 2, 3, and then Braun has to kind of reevaluate what he does in the ring.
Wins it back.
Yeah.
Because I think Cena would put him over. I think Cena has a lot of respect for that guy, and how can you not?
I think there's very few people that Cena wouldn't put over if he was asked to at this point.
I mean, dude, let's face facts. I mean, egos are a big thing in wrestling, and yeah, I'm not saying that John Cena has a big ego, because he has put over so many fucking people who I never thought he would ever put over, and who I wouldn't have expected him to put over. But he's put them over like gangbusters, and generally, when people work with John, they're better for it. And when CM Punk is saying John Cena's probably going to go down as my greatest opponent, what the fuck? John Cena?
Which is unbelievable. The pipe bomb that he dropped on him and everything.
I mean, what an incredible moment, bro.
You would think that would
set
be the
him
guy.
up.
The amount of hate that he had for him.
Oh.
You would think that he would never say that. It's amazing.
But, he also understands that, like, John gave him a lot at the same time. Like, he gave him that opportunity to be able to cut that promo.
Yep.
Without that, are we talking about CM Punk making a return, 10 years after he was in WWE? Like, no fucking way, bro.
No, of course not.
No, not even close. Like, I'm not saying anything or trying to besmirch CM Punk in any sense of the word. But you want to talk about somebody who's tough to deal with. I mean, I think he'd be the first one to tell you that he's fucking very difficult to deal with. Like, he is not he's not always the friendliest motherfucker around. I mean, but again, it's an ego business.
Well,
it is driven by ego.
Well, now CM Punk's one that's stuck in a storyline that he can't get out of now.
Stuck in a moment, you can't get out of it.
How many times are we going to have to see CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre?
Well, now they're going to do the strap match, dude. I mean,
It's a matter of time before they put a bracelet on a pole.
Oh, God. Coal miner's glove match. It was one of my favorite matches as a kid. I love watching WCW for that fucking crazy shit. I also like that Steve Austin reference it. Geritol on a pole match in his ECW promos. Oh, shit. But no, I mean, I like the idea of the strap match. My only issue is anyone who watched SummerSlam, and if you're listening to this, probably 99.9% of you have watched SummerSlam or seen highlights of it. You would watch that match with Drew and Punk, and you go, something is afoot. Why is Seth Rollins getting heat for just being in the ring? And these guys are really not doing anything to each other. And then when it came time to do the finish, like, I mean, Drew could have taken his head clean off with that Claymore, and, like, he barely touched him. And I get it. You're trying to protect CM Punk. I totally get it. You don't want the guy to go back on the shelf for another year because, you know, there was too rough in a match. But, dude, you're doing a strap match. There better be some fucking rugged violence that is going to go on in that strap match, especially after fucking CM Punk beat the shit out of Drew with the fucking belt.
I honestly think that it's going to be a better match than at SummerSlam because they'll be able to get away with more brutality and not have to worry about, like, perfect wrestling technique.
But what brutality, though? I don't think Punk wants to engage in that sort of thing. Like, especially with a guy Drew's size.
I think anything to hide the rust that he has.
He's not Jack Perry.
Yeah, but I think anything to hide the rust that he has right now, I think he'll.
So you think that may be a reason for the gimmick matches?
I think so. Because I mean, you look at that SummerSlam match. He showed a lot of deficiencies there.
And now, do they do Hell in the Cell?
Oh,
together?
God, no, I hope not.
I think that's what they're going to do, but I think they're going to add Seth.
Like them in the cell, or just a match at Hell in a Cell?
No. They're going to do it. No, they're definitely going to do a match in the cell at Bad Blood.
That's
in Atlanta.
That's just not
State Farm Arena.
That's going to be really bad.
I don't think it's going to be bad if they add Seth. A 3-way Hell in the Cell match?
Oh, yeah, then you can let CM Punk rest a lot more.
You can even add Bronson Reed to the mix.
Well, he's busy. Well, yeah, no.
Braun!
That's another guy that they have already screwed up. I'm glad you brought him up. They've already screwed him up. How do you have Bronson Reed go toe-to-toe
and murder people
with The Miz and look like there's actually a chance that The Miz can win? It's The Miz.
It shouldn't have been a competitive match. The match should have been over in 3 minutes.
There was no need for that. Like that.
You
that
have
was
3 minutes.
And they tried to save it afterwards with Bronson Reed, with him like taking out The Miz, and you know, all right, sure, but it's too little, too late at that point.
Yeah,
you kind of exposed him. If you're gonna build a monster, let him be a monster for a while. You did it with Braun Strowman.
Yeah, and the thing is why is Braun coming out to like save the Miz? They don't. I don't think they have a fucking relationship with each other. Like if R-Truth came out, that would make more sense. Hey, this guy was just a tag team champion with fucking R-Truth. R-Truth's trying to help him out, and Bronson Reed fucking beats him up. And then like maybe he forgets where he is. He goes to like the wrong building. Like I love R-Truth. But where is the connection with Bronson Reed?
It makes no sense.
With Braun Strowman, I just don't get it.
And I have no problems with Bronson Reed. I thought it was interesting to see him. You know,
he's a fucking big dude, man. Like he lays that splash in too, like mean.
But then it's only been a matter of weeks since he destroyed Seth Rollins.
Who's a top guy?
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand. So why? Okay, so you do a street fight.
You had him destroy Seth Rollins, then you have him destroy R-Truth. What? How do you take that huge step down from Seth Rollins to R-Truth? Now you're in a matchup with The Miz, and you go toe to toe with The Miz.
Yeah, The Miz got way too much offense, man. The match should have been over in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
He should have grabbed The Miz.
Did somebody say?
Yeah,
3 minutes.
I love that gimmick, dude. What they did to those poor old ladies, man. It's something to behold. Those late. I'll tell you what, Moolah took a hell of a bump.
Yep. Mae Young at the same time.
Oh my God, Mae Young was like 148 years old, and she was taking Samoan drops like an absolute fucking savage, and a splash that looked like it would have killed a normal human being.
You heard Bubba Ray's interview, right? When he was talking about Mae Young?
No.
When he was going to powerbomb her off the stage?
Yeah.
She's like, you better lay it in. Like, don't try to catch me. You better lay it in. And he's like, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna protect you. You're like 85 years old.
I don't want to yeet you off of the stage. Like, oh man. But I think that's like a nature of the business, though. Like, she understands that, like, hey, we want to get this shit over. Like, lay that shit in.
If you have to pound me into a fine powder, then so be it. You know,
I mean, Mark Henry also, was the father to the Hand.
Yes.
So,
yes, he was. That wasn't an unfortunate
want to talk about dark days in
man.
fucking WWE. Choppy, pee, 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 pee. Dude. Okay, I just need to say this. That Val Venus gimmick originally I loved it because it was so different. You have this dude acting like a porn star. It is incredible. It's same thing with Goldust. It was the Goldust effect. Like, Goldust came in, sucking his teeth and like rubbing his chest and like
grinding on people.
Oh my God, dude! It was so good. It was so good. Goldust. Dude, I love that shit.
It was a different era. That stuff just doesn't really work out these days.
You can't do it anymore, dude. You can't do it anymore.
Well, you definitely can't, because you'll get canceled for doing something like that.
Which is kind of ridiculous, dude, because, like, I mean, these people are actors.
They're literally characters. They're not making fun of anything. They're over-accentuating stuff, sure. But, I mean, if you watch any TV show with person that, is of that persuasion, that's overly flamboyant, you don't criticize that. Look at Will and Grace and stuff like that. I mean,
I don't even know if you could do that show nowadays.
They did. They brought it back.
They did?
Yeah, they brought it back for like 2 seasons.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and people went nuts for it.
See, I think it's just sometimes people are just overly fucking sensitive and they're looking for a reason to like stir the pot.
Yep.
Like, I don't really subscribe to any of that shit. Like, you can literally say fucking anything you want to me, and I wouldn't care. It just wouldn't matter to me. Like, I never I don't besmirch anybody because of their orientation or how they look or like anything else. Like, I could give a shit less. I look like a slob.
Listen, I had to walk on eggshells with how I just said that, just so that we don't get canceled here. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm not afraid, dude. Like, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, I am not afraid whatsoever to be canceled or like, whatever. I mean, it's just mind-boggling to me how sensitive some people are nowadays. And I get it. It's the in vogue thing to do, but some of the stuff that got play in the 90s, there's no shot that you could ever do it today because they would throw you off of the air.
And now it severely limits what you can do in wrestling, because now everybody basically falls into either I'm egotistical or I'm a tough guy.
Right.
And I'm a tough guy who's tougher than you, who's a tough guy. So we're both tough guys, and we're going to go into a match and see who's a tougher guy.
Why was anybody who was an international talent a heel? They were instantly a heel. You're Russian, Iranian, you're a fucking heel. They don't give a shit. Even if you are the best face in the world, you are a fucking heel, sir. You cannot be anything but a heel.
Yep.
It's like, if you are not American, you're a chooch. Yep. And you should be treated with very little respect. And they had these guys go, dude, Sergeant Slaughter, the guy was he was a turncoat.
The heat that he got for that was unbelievable.
They had
death threats.
They had to switch location for WrestleMania because he was getting death threats.
Unbelievable.
He was an Iraqi sympathizer during the Gulf War. Dude, how fucking crazy is that? The guy played his entire career as
like the epitome of American military patriot.
And he wasn't even in the military.
It's hilarious to me.
Stolen valor. Bro, he'd be canceled immediately. Stolen valor, dude. He's pretending to be a military guy. From Paris Island, South Carolina, dude. He didn't spend one day in the military. And now he's like apologized for it. He's like, I'm really sorry to everybody who served in that community.
It'd be like the Miz saying, hey, I was an active vet. Active combat vet.
Oh my god. Dude.
Oh man, I was in that movie.
I was in that movie, The Marine.
The Marine. I'm a Marine.
Him and John Cena.
Oh my god.
At least John Cena salutes people. I wonder who his drill instructor was.
Oh man, we all know the Marines. They are the epitome of hustle, loyalty, and respect. So
that's kind of fucking weird, bro.
As they say in the Marines, word life.
This is basic thugonomics. basic thugonomics. Word life.
Oh,
whether fighting or spitting, my discipline is unforgiving. Got you backing down in the defensive position. An ass-kicking anthem.
Oh, my God.
I don't think he was talking about the Marine Corps hymn when he said the ass-kicking anthem.
I don't think he was a Marine then.
He wasn't a Marine yet. Oh, okay. Sorry.
He had to wait till he turned face to get the Marine.
He was a face back then, bro. I don't care what anybody says. That was the most over gimmick that he had.
It's true. It's true. When he came out with the chain.
Oh, my God. You know? Well, dude, the spinner title was built for him.
Yep. I just remember that.
The United States title with the spinner, dude.
The chain crazy. And the Nux.
Oh, yeah.
He named it the FU because he was constantly feuding with Brock Lesnar's F5. That's why it was called the FU.
It's brilliant stuff, dude. It's brilliant stuff.
All
and the guy wrestled his entire he wrestled his entire career in jorts.
Yeah.
Like, what type of human being says, this is the look I'm going to go with? I'm going to wrestle in jorts.
This is why we can't show John Cena respect. This is why, John Cena, we didn't understand your game back then.
we did not respect your hustle or your loyalty.
We had no respect.
We had no respect for you. Zero respect. I actually like his dad a lot. I've met his dad and talked to his dad. His dad did a promo for me at one time. So, like, I appreciate John Cena Sr.
You respect your dad.
I respect your dad way more than I respected you, dog. No, but I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, any guy who wrestles in jorts for his entire career and is a top selling merch guy is like, you clearly have something that most people don't, because that shit would not fly anywhere else. I can't believe Vince let that shit happen. Like, a guy who's such a stickler for, like, wrestlers being wrestlers, like, or sports entertainers being sports entertainers. Like, you let a guy wrestle in fucking Reebok pumps and jorts.
And he saw the dollar signs.
Man,
Money talks.
bullshit runs the marathon.
Yeah.
God damn, bro. Well, there's a lot of fucking things going on right now in the wrestling industry. We got this Sunday is AEW's All In from Wembley. So they sold about 50,000 tickets, I guess, which is not bad, but it's not the 81,000 that they sold the last time. No, but again, who the fuck would expect them to sell that many tickets again? Second time around, step by step.
Yeah, it's impossible. I mean, you're basically presenting. You're not even presenting as good of a show. This time around.
Yeah. I mean, the build-up has been very lackluster. Yeah. Also, not to talk about AEW for such a long time here, but we should probably talk about AEW for a minute. Please, Tony Khan, stop putting a microphone in Mercedes Moné's hands.
I don't understand.
Please, why would you allow her to speak? Britt Baker absolutely scorched earth in the promo that they did together, and Mercedes looks like a total dweeb.
You think that's Tony's say, though?
What?
That she gets up there and talks?
Well, yeah, that's probably true. I mean,
it's probably her making the call for her own creative there.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Well,
that's why you don't give people creative control.
Yeah, I mean, she's the shits, dude. She is, like, really bad. Her finishing move sucks. The presentation isn't bad, but it's such a... She hasn't changed her presentation from WWE.
She's been doing the same stripper dance for her entire career.
Right, CEO. And, like, the music is so droning, and, like, she's like, oh, everybody loves the music. I'm like, nobody likes the music. You are kidding yourself.
It's as boring and tired as her whole act is.
It's really a shame because, I mean, she had some great matches in WWE. Like, some really... I mean, the Women's Revolution is a lot based on her, Bayley,
Becky,
and Charlotte.
Yeah.
I mean, the Four Horsewomen, dude. Yeah. Like, it was really based on them. And I don't think that enough credit gets given to them. But I shouldn't say that the Women's Revolution was all them, because without the people who came before them... You know, the Trish and the Lita.
Right, they paved the way, but I mean, it was definitely...
I mean, Trish was the only one who could really work.
Which is shocking, because especially when you look at how she started.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. TNA, legitimately.
Yeah.
Legitimately. Not just the tag team name, but that's like what she was known for.
So, with All In coming up, what's the best storyline they have going?
It's MJF Ospreay.
That's
it's not even close.
And that's it.
And Danielson retiring or not retiring, but I mean,
I feel like Swerve is kind of in the background with that, which is a shame.
He has been in the background since he won the championship. It is the most it's ridiculous.
Yep.
Why would you do that? The guy is he is a top star in the business, and you make him take a backseat to all these other fucking people who have no business even sharing a ring with him most of the time. And he is playing second fiddle. Will Ospreay did the right thing by saying, okay, we're going to keep the belt on him. Everyone expects me to win the belt. We're going to keep the belt on Swerve.
Yeah.
And people were like, I can't believe that you would fucking do that. And he's like, listen, the guy's the champion. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I shouldn't be beating this guy for the title. Like, no, I don't want to go in All In just because it's in Wembley, like, with the belt. And I'm sure that Tony was probably trying to push that.
I'm sure.
Like, yo, I want you to go in and, you know, be the champion going into All In at Wembley. I'm glad that they didn't do that. And I'm glad that they're working this MJF Will Ospreay thing, because now it's getting interesting. He's pulling out personal shit about Will Ospreay, saying that his, you know, the kid isn't his, and the next kid that he has with his wife isn't gonna be his either. I'm like, oh my god, dude, Max is a fucking absolute savage. And the best part about it is that he's using I am the fact, and facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
Dude, it makes me laugh hysterically because he knows how to get the right type of heat. He has been doing all these videos with Cultaholic and like shitting all over British people. You guys have never won anything.
That was
you
a great
need our
interview.
help to win wars.
See, this is the thing. You have a problem with Ospreay. That's because, you know, you people just never really get along. You know, America, we get along.
We get along. Everyone gets
You had a
along.
civil war. That's the kind of lies and the fake news
Bro, it's really good though. Like, think about what he's doing here. Like, people don't want to boo him.
Yeah.
They don't want to boo him.
When he got on his knees and the American flag drapes down
Oh my
behind
god,
him.
dude, it's brilliant. And
Hilarious.
every time he comes out on TV now, he's wearing an American flag, like full suit, shirt, the whole fucking deal. It's all an American flag. It is brilliant. He is basically taking taking a heel approach from what we were just talking about. When the foreign guy always had to be the heel.
Yeah.
But even in the States,
He's now flipping the script. It's
Bingo.
the American that's the heel now.
bingo.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true now because people hate Americans. Everybody fucking hates America
Everywhere in
now.
the world.
Not me.
Even Americans hate Americans.
I don't. I mean, I hate everyone. So like, I that's not true. I don't. I'm not really a hater. I really don't hate that much.
So it's funny to me. The best storyline on AEW is a mid-card title. Now, what's the best storyline in WWE?
Probably the Bloodline.
The Bloodline. And that is over the Ula Fala. It's not even a championship they're fighting over. That's amazing to me. That's some good stuff going on when you can make your main storyline not even revolve around your championship.
My only issue is that Cody feels like Swerve.
I agree. I 100% agree.
It feels like so close to the same type of fuckery that is happening with Swerve that I'm just like not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with what they're doing. I'm not comfortable with how they're treating Cody. I'm not comfortable with how they're treating Swerve because Swerve deserves more respect than what he's been given. Cody also deserves more respect than what he's been given. And like, why is Cody not like giving? Is Swerve not giving like ideas to the guy who's booking the show? Like, hey, like let me do this storyline with this person because I think that we can generate some interest and like, you know, I can be a focal point of what the fuck is going on.
Is Cody becoming a victim to the final boss?
Oh man, that is an interesting way to put that. Well, who's the final boss in AEW? Mercedes Moné. Oh my god, dude. She is on the TV screen way too much.
CE no. CE no.
Dude, she was the boss. She was known as the boss. Legit boss. And the final boss now. Dude, it all makes sense. It's all coming back to this. And the work on I don't know the words to that song. I honestly don't. But, you know, I mean, there's just so much stuff going on in the wrestling business. Ricochet officially signed today with AEW year deal?
He's gonna get hurt. He's gonna get hurt. Easily, he's gonna get hurt.
How long do you think before he regrets his decision of not re-signing with WWE?
Well, so he's got to get on TV. So
well, they're saying that he's going to be at All In. Like,
oh, that's great. He'll get there and he'll do something cute, and then they won't show him for another 3 months, and then he'll do some of his flippy stuff, and people won't catch him, and he'll break his spine. And
well, this is the problem when you have 183 wrestlers on your fucking roster. Like, yeah, you can only put so many people on your 5 hours of programming that you have a week on television. Like, yeah,
they'll put him in a match with Darby Allin, and Darby will say, "Hey, how about you do like a 1750 onto 15 pieces of plate glass?"
Yeah, you know, what I dislike about your besmirchment of Darby Allin is the fact that, like, the guy is really talented. It's just he makes stupid decisions.
He's got a death wish. That's what he's got.
Well, some people have said that about me. You might not protect yourself as best as you possibly can. Well, I mean, sometimes it's tough. You're really walking a fine line. But Darby is also a sadomasochist, and I have a twinge of that. I don't mind a little pain.
I lost all respect when he dove into that glass.
Yeah,
and there was nobody there. There was nobody even close to being there.
He was already gone by the time that he threw himself off. The dude was getting a cup of tea and a scone.
So now you're not only doing this stupid thing, but it serves no purpose and it looks ridiculous.
Well, and people got hurt in the crowd. Like, people got cut in the crowd. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Like, come on, this is pro wrestling. Like, you want to do death matches? Like, go do death matches.
All for Sting's final match.
Which I don't understand, because, like, if Sting did that, I would be like, wow, that's impressive. Like, this guy is laying it all out there.
If Sting did that, he'd be dead. He would have died right there.
The poor guy, dude. I never thought that I would see Sting wrestle for as long as he did. I didn't like the Crow gimmick. I wasn't a fan. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was a total ripoff of the movie.
Even he said that.
I like Surfer Sting. Surfer Sting was my favorite Sting. His matches with fucking Vader, Foley, fucking Ric Flair, like, that's the Sting that I want to remember. I want to remember that guy. I don't want to remember the Sting who painted his face up like the Crow and ascended from the ceiling with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Also, they're making the new Crow movie now. Have you seen that?
I'm not even going to bother. I'm not going to waste my time. They can't recapture the original.
Let me just explain something to you. It might as well be fucking Twilight.
Oh God, no.
That's what it looks like to me. That's what the guy playing Eric Draven, the Crow, looks like. He looks like he is a character in Twilight. So that'll just tell you all that you need to know about the movie. It's a goddamn shame. Stop remaking fucking movies that were awesome and just do something different. Do something different. I don't care what it is. Just don't remake classic movies that you're gonna fuck up. There hasn't been a good remake. I haven't seen Twisters yet. Some people were saying that it's fucking pretty solid. I really don't know.
I heard it was good. I didn't.
Well, I'm sure, because the special effects now are like leaps and bounds above where they were.
That's also not one.
Have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine?
No, it's not.
Yeah, great. No, I don't. Well, I don't watch any of that fucking weird shit. So that's not for me. But people have been raving about that movie. I've seen the first Deadpool a little bit. I don't think I sat through the whole fucking thing. And, like, I'm just not into superhero movies. It's just not my jam. I don't like any of that weird shit.
I just don't get to go to the movies anymore.
How can you, dude? It's like fucking $140 to fucking 3 people to go to 2 people to fucking go to the movie.
No
Popcorn. Kidding. I'm surprised you don't have to pay for parking.
Yeah, that's coming.
Well,
I'm sure.
Well, actually, you do. If you go to the mall, you gotta fucking pay to park, assholes. But anyway, well, let's get out of here, man. I fucking think that it's probably about that time. We've talked about a lot of different things over the past hour, so
yeah, I'm Good. Yeah, we have
All In
nothing
this
to
weekend.
talk about until All In.
Yeah.
And then
Make sure that you watch All In this weekend.
really
this
hope
upcoming Sunday.
listen, we give
the 25th.
We give AEW a lot of crap. I'm really hoping for something good from All In.
Oh yeah, me too, man. I really hope that something is gonna be that something's gonna really stand out, and I hope that Britt beats Mercedes. That would be lovely. I don't think that that's gonna happen.
Ospreay has to go over.
I hope that he doesn't. Only because I like this heel MJF so much, and I think that would, without the belt,
There's no purpose.
It would take like a little bit of the steam off of it, and then he's gonna have to go back to regular MJF. And I like this whole America's like champion type of fucking thing. Change the title to the America's champion, and like I kind of dig it.
We'll get to see Bryan Danielson retire.
I really hope not, dude. I really hope he wins the title and then is like, all right, I'm done. I mean, because then at least Swerve can fight from underneath and get his title back.
Yeah, I don't want to see the championship come off Swerve yet.
Me neither, but what else are they going to do?
Yeah, that's true.
What else can you do? What, are you not going to put over Bryan Danielson in his fucking, potentially his final match ever? How long do you think he stays retired for?
2 months. 2 months till somebody else gets hurt and they need to bring him back.
Man.
2 months. 2 months till Ricochet gets hurt.
Oh my God, bro! Don't wish that upon the guy, but that's probably pretty accurate.
Poor Samantha Irvin. I mean, come on.
I like Samantha Irvin. I think that she shows a lot of passion for the business, and she's done a great job. She's been the only like recognizable thing since Lillian Garcia.
Yeah, that's true.
And before her, it was Howard Finkel.
Which, I mean, obviously he set the standard for looks in the wrestling industry. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, I would say so. Looks like your brother. Anyway, same comb over. Well, this has been Pro Wrestling Summit. You already know what it is. Make sure you reach out to us on Instagram at good.villain.media. You can find us on there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. We'll talk to you later. Peace.